Well, Donald Trump is now looking to replace the person he fired at the Bureau of Labor Statistics when we got those job numbers on August 1st, which of course was a very disappointing number set for Donald Trump as it revised 2 months of previously strong jobs data in May and June to virtually no growth, and did give us a quote-unquote rebound of growth in July with just 74,000 jobs. But then, of course, when you average the 3 months together, we've got a very, very low number for job growth. And so Donald Trump fired the head of the Bureau of Labor Statistics, suggesting that they were either politically biased. His cabinet at least suggested that either the head of the BLS was politically biased, which therefore they should be fired. And if they're not politically biased, then they just suck at collecting data and therefore they should be fired. When you merge that together, initially when you hear it from the Trump admin, it's kind of like, all right, yeah, if they suck at data and their job is data, then they should be fired. And if they're political, but they're good at data, then they should be fired because they're political. It kind of makes sense. And of course, we made a video talking about how many delays there are in BLS reporting data, mostly because of the delays in companies reporting payrolled employees or not. And so now there is reporting out, according to Bloomberg and Fox News, that apparently Trump's pick to, quote, lead the Bureau of Labor Statistics could pause monthly jobs reports over accuracy concerns, which is now very interesting because basically, hey, you know, if we're going to have to revise the numbers all the time, why don't we just stop reporting the numbers altogether? You know what? It's kind of like when unemployment gets really bad in China for people under 18 years old. So basically like 16, 17, 18 years old. So youth unemployment. Let's just stop reporting the data because, you know, we don't want to see that bad data. That's gross. That's ill. EJ Antoni, President Trump's pick to lead the Bureau of Labor Statistics, has suggested suspending the agency's monthly jobs reports. If you only had the monthly first Friday of every month's jobs report numbers for decades, and we've become used to adjusting for the fact that there will be revisions. Usually we look at the numbers and take them with a grain of salt, and it's one of the reasons why we say, hey, as long as they come in over 50,000, it's not recessionary, because once you start coming in under 50,000, you're going to revise away those jobs and you're actually losing jobs, which is recessionary. Well, so like the market has already taken a lot of these job numbers with a grain of salt. But now apparently Donald Trump's pick to lead the agency is just going to completely remove the data because they don't like being wrong. I mean, I'm not always right either. Like this morning, you know, we thought there was a chance we could see a continuation of Tesla. We didn't think it would break through 347, but we did think it would magnet through a little bit more. You know, yesterday we had a great call on Tesla going from 333 up to 347. I thought it would take 48 hours. It happened very, very quickly on a trade here. But you know, you can't always be perfect. You know, today, obviously, Tesla lost the magnet, though a lot of this has to do with Trump's insanity around potentially suing or enabling a lawsuit or even the arresting of Jerome Powell, which is just mind-blowing. And this is sort of what set off Tesla, though it's nicely recovering now. It'll probably come back to 347 soon. Instead, one that we called correctly was Circle here, because we said that in order for you to play momentum on this, you have to confirm it for the first 5 minutes. So the first 5 minutes on non-average candlesticks, we need to confirm the 182.87 line. Otherwise, that momentum's not going to continue. If we bounce off of this, hey, it could be off to the races, right? But losing 182.87 is your test. Take a look at this. By the 4th minute, you have a collapsing candlestick right through. This is why it's so important and why I always advocate watch those candles the first 5 minutes, because you just never know how that trading day is going to begin. People usually get impatient. They try to rush to make trades. Something really to pay attention to, in my opinion. Ooh, Tesla going green again. Looks like we'll be coming back to that 347 pretty soon here. Nice. But anyway, things to watch and things that we regularly talk about and strategize in the Alpha Report. It's more than just, oh, this is going up today. It's here's how you could learn how to fish. Here are the lines to pay attention to. Here are the strategies to consider. So if you want to be a part of that, make sure you grab the Alpha Report. You get lifetime access. You get all those insights over at mekevin.com. Use coupon code JPOW. J-Hole. But anyway, continuing, take a look at this. In an interview on Fox Business before Trump nominated him on Monday, and Tony said businesses can't plan and the Federal Reserve can't conduct monetary policy when the monthly report is unreliable and frequently overstated and thus misleading. Well, then again, even though it's frequently misstated, we already discount for that. Until it's corrected, the BLS should suspend issuing monthly jobs reports, but keep publishing the more accurate, though less timely, quarterly data. Wow. Quarterly jobs data as opposed to monthly. That put everything into even more darkness, because remember, we're also looking for a change. That's the beauty about that monthly data, is you average it out and you look for a change in that trajectory. If, 1 month we're going negative 150,000 jobs, we'd rather know that, in month 1 than have to wait an extra 2 or 3 months to get this data. Major decision makers rely on these numbers, and a lack of the confidence of this. It seems like the administration's doing everything in their power just to keep this economy going, even though it so badly wants to slow down. Let's just cover up the fact that it's slowing down. If confirmed by the Senate, Antonia would replace the person that was fired by Trump. And Trump accused her of manipulating the data for political reasons, or, also the other thing that the cabinet said was that they would, it's either political or just bad data collection. Do they have a video here of Antonia or no? Oh, well, they have an ad is what they have. Okay. The economist tapped by Trump to lead the BLS suggests that the agency's closely watched monthly jobs report and assumptions were fundamentally flawed. In an interview with Fox Business ahead of the nomination announcement, Antonio criticized the data behind the report as unreliable. How on earth are businesses supposed to plan? Okay, so Antony, Heritage Foundation's chief economist, must face Senate confirmation before joining the top of the BLS, but our economy is booming and EJ will ensure the numbers are honest and accurate, Trump wrote on August 12th, announcing Antony's nomination. I know Antony will do an incredible job in his new role. Congratulations. Wow. All right. Well, and then Kevin Roberts, president of the Heritage Foundation, calls Antony a stellar choice. They're all recommended. In my opinion, today's job numbers were rigged in order to make the Republicans and me look bad, Trump wrote on August 1st. That's when the last data came out. Antony told Fox that he doesn't believe the jobs data was intentionally manipulated, as some have suggested, but instead argues that persistent flaws in the methodology have gone unaddressed. He pointed to a declining response rate, now below 50%, as a key factor contributing to the inaccuracy, saying no one in a position of power fixed the problems in the data. Right. Well, I mean, this is where, you have to find a way to motivate businesses and people to actually respond to these surveys more rapidly. And also keeping in mind that if you're going to release data on the first of the month for the prior month, how do you actually expect to get surveys back that went out at the end of July? You might get the surveys back from the beginning of July, the month before, but how are you going to get those surveys back at the end? You'd have to have like a 24-hour response time and then time to tabulate it all. It's really just impossible. So, I mean, I could see the argument being set up for delaying these jobs reports to basically a quarterly reporting set. But really what it'll just do is it'll just mask weakness in the labor market. And if we get a bad labor report one quarter, we won't get confidence that we're coming out of a bad labor report for that much longer, right? It cuts both ways. Like if you get monthly data that shows a weakening, you get an earlier heads up. But if you get one bad read and then it's 3 months before you get the next one, you suffer that pain much longer than you would otherwise if you got more data more rapidly. So I'm not sure how convinced I feel about this idea of, oh yeah, let's delay and hide data. I think ultimately that'll cause more problems than it'll help. But I'm not, I'm not opposed to some maybe even like move the jobs report maybe from the beginning of the month to like the middle of the month, right? That could potentially be reasonable. Every 3 months though, that seems crazy, and it almost feels like it's being done on purpose to sort of cover up a slowing economy. That might be the jaded way to look at it. Is we don't want to see the impacts of the tariffs. Let's just hide them for as long as possible, and what can we do to cover it up? Let's fire the BLS chief and say they're being political. That'll help us distract from the Epstein files.
Why not advertise these things that you told us here? I feel like nobody else knows about this.
We'll try a little advertising and see how it goes.
Congratulations, man. You have done so much. People love you. People look up to you.
Kevin Paffrath there, financial analyst and YouTuber. Meet Kevin. Always great to get your take.